Morning, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., President of the Republic of the Philippines and Commander-in-Chief Armed Forces of the Philippines.
Dahil sa ito ay kinakailangan.
Please remain standing for the singing of the Philippine National Anthem. May we call on the Army Chief Chaplain, Colonel Roy L. Ongao, for the invocation.
Manalangin tayo. Pinupuri ka namin, o mahal naming Diyos, sa aming pagtitipon na ito para sa seremonya ng pagsasali ng pamamahala sa aming hukbong katihan at ng pagretiro sa active military service ng aming namumunong general. Maraming salamat, Panginoon, sa biyaya ng magandang panahon, ng presensya ng bawat isang narito at ng kaisahan sa seremonyang ito. Kami ay nagpapasalamat din sa magandang nagaganap sa aming hukbong katihan dahil sa iyong pagpapala ng pagsugo sa mga mahuhusay na general na namuno sa amin katulad ni General Roy M. Galido na ngayon ay magretiro sa active military service. Maraming salamat po sa biyaya ng kanyang pagkatao at ang lahat ng kahigitan sa pag-unlad na kanyang nagawa para sa aming hukbong katihan, lalo na ang pagkilala sa kapangyarihan ng Diyos at paghikayat na lalong mapalapit sa Kanya upang tunay na makabuluhan sa paglilingkod, matagumpay sa pagtugon sa bigay na misyon at maibigay ng wagas ang sarili para sa ikabubuti ng nakararami. Ganun din sa Kanyang panuto para sa malusog na kapaligiran sa trabaho. Maraming salamat sa isang mabuting pinuno sa aming sandatahang lakas na katulad niya at ng kanyang magandang huwaran. Patuloy mo po siyang pagpalain at gabayan sa bagong yugto ng kanyang buhay bilang sibilyan, 10 ng kanyang mga mahal sa buhay. Kami ay nagpapasalamat din sa biyaya ng isa pang mahusay na general sa pagkatao ni Lieutenant General Antonio G. Navarrete na hahalili bilang bagong punong general. Patuloy mo po kaming itaguyod at tulungan sa hukbong katihan sa kanyang panunungkulan. Pinasasalamatan ka rin namin, Panginoon, sa presensya ng kagalang-galang na Pangulo at aming Commander-in-Chief, Presidente Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. bilang presider ng seremonyang ito at ang malaking inspirasyon na dulot nito sa amin. Patuloy mo nawa kaming akayin at pagbuklurin sa di maigupong kaisahan bilang isang lahing Pilipino para sa bagong Pilipinas sa kanyang pamumuno. At hinihiling po namin ang patuloy mong pagpapala sa bawat isa sa amin, sa aming hukbong katihan, sa aming sandatahang lakas, at sa aming inang bayan. Papuri sa iyo, Panginoon Diyos, ngayon at magpasawalang hanggan. Amen.
Thank you to the Army Chief Chaplain. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, we welcome you all to the Philippine Army Change of Command and Retirement Ceremony in honor of Lieutenant General Roy Mabagos Galido. Today's ceremony showcases the changing of the guards of the Philippine Army from the outgoing leader, Lieutenant General Roy M. Galido, to the incoming leader, Lieutenant General Antonio G. Navarrete. On this occasion, we recognize the man who steered the 110,000-strong members of the Philippine Army, a man who has made a niche for his dedication and honorable service, exemplifying integrity, commitment, and leadership. The ceremony highlights the presentation of award to the outgoing Commanding General, Philippine Army, for the exceptional performance rendered during his term. The award to be presented is the Philippine Legion of Honor. We'd like to request Lieutenant General Roy M. Galido, sir, to stand and step forward as the citation of the award will be read by the Chief of Presidential Protocol and Presidential Assistant on Foreign Affairs, Under Secretary Rachel Quiñones.
The citation reads as follows. Be it known to all men by these presents that I, Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., President of the Philippines, by virtue of the powers vested in me by law, in recognition of his exceptionally meritorious conduct, in the performance of outstanding service rendered in a position of major responsibility as the 66th Commanding General of the Philippine Army from 31 July 2023 to 31 July 2025, for his firm resolve and commitment to leading the Philippine Army in accomplishing organizational thrusts and operational policies in support of the AFP Peace, Law Enforcement and Development Support Plan, Pagkakaisa 2023 to 2028, for advancing efforts toward lasting peace and progress through intensive civil military operations, programs, proactive stakeholder engagement, and collaboration with partners from various sectors, thereby promoting trustworthiness in government service delivery and sustaining the reputation of the Philippine Army and the Armed Forces of the Philippines as a dependable and reliable force for nation building and community development, for his demonstrated commitment to the core values of the Philippine Army and the Armed Forces of the Philippines, and for earning the respect and admiration of the Philippine government and the Filipino people through his remarkable achievements, have caused to be inscribed in the roster of the Philippine Legion of Honor the name of Roy M. Galido, Lieutenant General, Philippine Army, with the rank of Comandante or Commander, done in the city of Manila this 31st day of July in the year of our Lord, 2025.
We'd like to request the family of Lieutenant General Galido on stage. His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. is requested to present the award, assisted by the Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, General Romeus Browner Jr. Please rise as we witness the presentation of awards. Well, congratulations to Lieutenant General Galido, sir. Thank you to His Excellency, to the Chief of Staff, and to Mrs. Galido. Well, once again, a big hand for the 66th Commanding General, Philippine Army. The guests may now be seated. We shall move on with the change of command ceremony. The relief and designation orders will be read by the Adjutant General Armed Forces of the Philippines, Captain Ramilo B. Trinidad, Philippine Navy.
General Headquarters, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Camp General Emilio Aguinaldo, Quezon City. General Orders number 1385, published on 30 July 2025. Section 1, Termination. Designation of Lieutenant General Roy Mabagus Galido, Officer-10285, Philippine Army, as Commanding General, Philippine Army, is terminated effective 31 July 2025. Section 2, Designation. Lieutenant General Antonio Gustilo Nafarete, Officer-10291, Philippine Army, is designated as Commanding General, Philippine Army, effective 31 July 2025. By command of General Bronner Jr., Official Romel Pineda Roldan, Lieutenant General, Philippine Air Force, the Deputy Chief of Staff, signed Ramilo B. Trinidad, Captain, Philippine Navy, General Staff Corps, Acting the Adjutant General.
The outgoing Commanding General, Philippine Army, Lieutenant General Roy M. Galido, will read and sign the order for his relinquishment of command.
Hindi na ito. Please, silent ka ba?
Headquarters, Philippine Army, Office of the Commanding General, Fort Andres Bonifacio, Metro Manila. Office Order Number 01, dated 31 July 2025. Pursuant to Section 1, General Orders Number 1385, General Headquarters, Armed Forces of the Philippines, dated 30 July 2025, I hereby relinquish the position as Commanding General of the Philippine Army, effective 31 July 2025, and I sign happily and fulfilling. Sir, may I present to you my after?
The outgoing Commanding General, Philippine Army, will order the Command Sergeant Major, Chief Master Sergeant Marvin M. Hurane, to lower his personal flag.
Chief Master Sergeant Hurane, lower my personal flag.
Sir, yes, sir.
The lowering of the personal flag of the outgoing commander marks more than just the end of a command. It signifies the closure of a brilliant and colorful military career. It is a solemn moment that honors years of dedicated service, unwavering commitment, and exemplary leadership. As the flag is lowered, it carries with it the legacy of a leader who has served with honor, integrity, and pride in the profession of arms. The encased personal flag of the outgoing Commanding General, Philippine Army, will be presented by the Command Sergeant Major.
Lieutenant General Antonio Nafarete, I'm now ready to be relieved.
The incoming Commanding General, Philippine Army, Lieutenant General Antonio G. Nafarete, will read and sign the order for his assumption of command.
Headquarters, Philippine Army, Office of the Commanding General, Fort Andres Bonifacio, Metro Manila. Office Orders Number 02, dated 31 July 2025. Assumption of command. Pursuant to Section 2, General Orders Number 1385, General Headquarters, Armed Forces of the Philippines, dated 30 July 2025. I hereby assume the position as Commanding General, Philippine Army, effective 31 July 2025, and I sign.
We shall witness the handover of the command symbol to be presided by the Commander-in-Chief. While being handed over is a saber, a timeless symbol of responsibility, authority, and the honor of command, deeply rooted in military tradition. The saber embodies the weight of leadership and the readiness to defend and serve with valor. The handover of this command symbol reflects the dynamism and continuity within the military organization. Thank you very much. Congratulations to both the 66th and 67th Commanding Generals of the Philippine Army. Thank you to His Excellency. The new Commanding General, Philippine Army, Lieutenant General Antonio G. Navarrete, will order the Command Sergeant Major to raise his personal flag, after which he delivers his inaugural speech.
Command Sergeant Major, raise my personal flag.
Sir, yes, sir.
The raising of the personal flag of the newly designated Army Chief is a powerful symbol of authority and leadership. It signifies that the new commander has officially assumed the responsibilities of the position. Someone is now seated, in charge, and ready to lead.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Allow me to acknowledge His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., President of the Republic of the Philippines and Commander-in-Chief, Armed Forces of the Philippines, sir. The honorable members of the Cabinet, our Medal of Valor awardees, General Romeo S. Bronner Jr., our Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Lieutenant General Roy M. Galido, my mista, the 66th Commanding General of the Philippine Army, Admiral Ronnie Toto Galban, Commandant of the Philippine Coast Guard, Police General Toto Parin Nicolas Torre III, Chief of the Philippine National Police, former CGPAs of the Philippine Army, foreign defense attaches, my family who is present today, my mother and my brother and the rest. I am deeply honored to have been allowed to lead the Philippine Army. As I take on the helm, I would like to congratulate my mista, Roy, for a job well done. Thank you, Bok. To the brave men and women of the Philippine Army, I stand before you humbled, honored, and fully committed as your new commander. I thank God, the Almighty, for this opportunity. My sincere gratitude also to our Commander-in-Chief, Sir, the Secretary of National Defense, and the Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, for their confidence and trust. As we move forward together, I want to set the tone of our direction with one clear belief. Our true strength does not only lie in the weapons we wield, the equipment we acquire, nor the technologies we adopt. It lies in you, our personnel. The heart of our organization is not forged in steel, but flesh and blood. The soldier who serves, sacrifices, and stands steadfast in every mission. With that, under my command, our focus will be centered on human capital development, a mission within our mission, to invest not just in what we fight, but in who fights. Our human capital development will revolve around 5 pillars. On personnel, nurturing our greatest asset. Every soldier matters. We will ensure that career paths are clear, skills are recognized, and opportunities for growth are accessible to all, from the newest private to the most seasoned NCO. We will foster an environment where every individual feels valued, respected, and empowered. On morale, strength in spirit. A high moral army is a resilient army. We will encourage cohesion, esprit de corps, and celebrate our victories, big or small. Commanders and leaders at all levels will be held responsible not just for performance, but for how they uplift and care for their troops. We will recognize service, reward excellence, and build a culture of respect and pride. On health, strong body, ready mind. A fighting force is only as effective as it is healthy. Physical and mental well-being will be a priority. Regular medical checkups, access to health services, and mental health support will be strengthened. Soldiers will be encouraged to take care of themselves and each other. We fight as one, and we heal as one. Education empowered by knowledge. Modern warfare is fought not only on the battlefield, but in the mind. From traditional tactics to cyber defense, education will be key to preparing for both present and future threats. We will support formal education, technical training, digital literacy, and military schooling, because a well-informed soldier is a powerful asset. And the fifth, finances, stability of the battlefield. Economic stress at home affects performance in the field. We will promote financial literacy programs, support systems for dependents, and ensure timely access to pay, benefits, and savings schemes. A soldier who is financially secure is more focused, more determined, and more loyal to the cause. In support of the Army's mission, let me be clear. Our commitment to human capital development is not apart from the Army's mission, but a vital part of it. As we face the challenges of modern warfare, cyber threats, electronic warfare, economic sabotage, and geopolitical tensions, our response cannot only be the procurement of new systems or advanced weaponry. The most important defense we can build is the resilience, intelligence, and strength of our personnel. We are entering an era where wars are not only fought with bullets, but also with bites, where borders are tested not just by battalions, but by bandwidths, where battles can be won or lost through morale, awareness, and unity. This is why we must prepare not just externally, but internally. Let us be an army that leads not only by strategy, but by example. One that shows that readiness is not just having the right tools, but having educated, healthy, motivated, and supported soldiers behind every rifle and every console. To each and every soldier, remember this: you are not just part of the force, you are the force. You are not just defending the nation, you are the nation. Our strength is our personnel, and as your commander, I pledge to build a command that puts you, your growth, your welfare, your future at the center of everything we do. Together, we will stand strong. Together, we will adapt and overcome. Together, we will fulfill our mission because we are not just ready for battle, we are ready for the future. Mabuhay ang sandatang lakas, mabuhay ang ating mga kawal. Thank you, and may we all serve with courage, commitment, and compassion.
Thank you to the 67th Commanding General, Philippine Army. From here, ladies and gentlemen, we'll move on with the retirement ceremony of Lieutenant General Roy M. Galido. May we now request Lieutenant General Galido, sir, to stand and step forward as the Adjutant General, Armed Forces of the Philippines, reads the retirement order.
Republic of the Philippines, Department of National Defense, General Headquarters, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Camp General Emilio Aguinaldo, Quezon City. General Orders Number 1181, published on 07 July 2025. Compulsory retirement. Pursuant to the provisions of Section 2A1 of Republic Act Number 11939, dated 17 May 2023, Section 17 of Presidential Decree Number 1638, as amended and in consonance with Presidential Administrative Order Number 150, dated 04 January 1990. Lieutenant General Roy Mabagos Galido, Officer -10285, Philippine Army, having completed 39 years and 4 months of active military service in the Armed Forces of the Philippines from 01 April 1986 to 30 July 2025, is compulsorily retired in the rank of Lieutenant General effective 31 July 2025 with retirement pay based on the salary grade of General with 5th longevity pay. By order of the Secretary of National Defense, Official Romeo Saturnino Bronner Jr., General, Philippine Army, Chief of Staff. Signed, Ramilo B. Trinidad, Captain, Philippine Navy General Staff Corps, Acting the Adjutant General.
Please remain in front, sir. We'd like to request the spouse, Mrs. Rina Micaela Galido, ma'am, to join your husband on stage. His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. is requested for the presentation of plaques and mementos. The President will be assisted by Defense Secretary Gilberto C. Chodoro Jr. and the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, General Romes Bronner Jr. Command Plaque. Command Plaque is presented to Lieutenant General Roy M. Galido, Officer -10285, Philippine Army, in grateful acknowledgement of his eminently meritorious and invaluable service rendered as Commanding General, Philippine Army from 31 July 2023 to 30 July 2025. Command Plaque. Command Plaque is presented to Lieutenant General Roy M. Galido, Officer -10285, Philippine Army, in grateful recognition of his outstanding and meritorious service rendered to the Armed Forces of the Philippines and the Philippine Army, as well as for his selfless and faithful service to our country and people from 18 February 1990 to 30 July 2025. Plaque of Honorable Service. Plaque of Honorable Service is presented to Lieutenant General Roy M. Galido, Officer -10285, Philippine Army, in recognition of his 39 years and 4 months of faithful and honorable service to the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Gallery of Awards. Gallery of Awards is presented to Lieutenant General Roy M. Galido. This is a representation of all the awards bestowed on him during his active tour of duty. Plaque ng Pagpupugay sa Kawal Pilipino. Plaque ng Pagpupugay sa Kawal Pilipino, iginagawad kay Lieutenant General Roy M. Galido, pagpaparangal at pagkilala sa natatanging pagganap ng mga tungkulin bilang isang leader at kawal Pilipino ng ating sandatahang lakas. This time, Mrs. Galido will be presented with a plaque of appreciation. Plaque of appreciation is presented to Mrs. Rina Micaela Galido for her unselfish, faithful, and devoted support to her husband's lasting contribution and dedicated service to the Armed Forces of the Philippines and to our nation. As we now witness the presentation of the Philippine flag, everyone is requested to stand. The Philippine flag, a powerful symbol of the aspirations, struggles, and enduring spirit of the Filipino people, the embodiment of our love for country, unity, and deep sense of patriotism. For the brave men and women in the noble profession of arms, the flag holds a deeper meaning. It is a solemn reminder of their sacred duty to protect our freedom and uphold our sovereignty, even if it means making the ultimate sacrifice. The Philippine flag is presented to Lieutenant General Roy M. Galido. Well, congratulations to Lieutenant General and Mrs. Galido. Thank you to His Excellency, to the Defense Secretary, and the Chief of Staff. Once again, a big hand for Lieutenant General and Mrs. Galido. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome the 66th Commanding General, Philippine Army, Lieutenant General Roy Mabagos Galido, as he delivers his valedictory address.
To God be all the glory and my profound gratitude to the Almighty for this blessing opportunity for all of you to be here, present, to be witness to a very important milestone in my life. May I acknowledge our presiding officer, the President of the Republic of the Philippines and the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., the newly installed Commanding General, Philippine Army, my very good Mista, Lieutenant General Antonio Toto Naparete. May I acknowledge the Secretary of National Defense, Honorable Secretary Gilberto C. Teodoro Jr., my predecessor, the 65th Commanding General, Philippine Army, and the current Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, General Romeo S. Browner, Jr. May I also acknowledge the Special Assistant to the President, Honorable Antonio Ernesto Lagdameo, Jr., the Secretary of the Presidential Advisor on Peace and Reconciliation and Unity, Secretary Carlito Galvez, Secretary Andres Centino, Secretary Eduardo Año, and my partners in the other uniformed service, Police General Nicolas the Champion Torre, the Chief of Philippine National Police, and Coast Guard Admiral Ronnie Hill Galvan, the Commandant of the Philippine Coast Guard. And more importantly, may I recognize my wife, Rina, and my sons, Red and Ronin, and my family from the Sese clan, Jose clan, Mabagos, and my special guests who traveled afar. May I recognize the major service commanders present, senior Army generals present, the Medal of Valor awardees, the former commanding generals of the Philippine Army, the stakeholders present, my Mista from the Philippine Military Academy 1990, the members of the Foreign Attaché Corps present, all the officers and units online. The officers and men of Headquarters Philippine Army, led by the Vice Commander of the Philippine Army. The last retirement event I attended lasted 1 hour of speech. Thus, I made it a point that this will be shorter by coming up with a video presentation of what Army has become after 2 years. So, sir, please watch on your screen my report to you and our country.
And let me now welcome and congratulate our 66th Philippine Army Commanding General, Lieutenant General Roy M. Galido.
The moment Lieutenant General Galido took command, he bore not just the weight of leadership, but a greater mission, one that would test his resolve and shape the Army's future.
I urge everyone to strive towards building an army that is agile, adaptable, and competitive, works well together with its partners and stakeholders, and especially our citizens. I look forward to your plans to protect the shared identity that our past and present generations have built, and to transform the Army into a world-class force that is a source of our country's security and peace and pride.
Thank you, sir. I will not fail you.
The mission was clear: build a Philippine Army that is agile, resilient, and worthy of the people's trust, works hand in hand with citizens, the government, and allies, and keep the Army ready, not just for today's challenges, but for whatever lies ahead. Without wasting time and energy, we rolled up our sleeves and got to work. We enhanced our recruitment processes and revitalized our training system to ensure that only the most capable join our ranks and receive standardized, high-quality training. Leadership development remains a core priority, with mentorship programs that build both competence and character. To ensure peak performance across the force, we strengthened our healthcare systems, institutionalized regular medical checkups, promoted physical fitness, and embraced a holistic approach to health, because operational readiness begins with individual well-being. We improved our facilities to better support the personal and professional needs of our troops, so they can worry less about daily concerns and focus more on their mission. In response to shifting global power dynamics and rising threats to regional stability, we adopted our force, guided by the whole-of-government and whole-of-nation approach of the national government. We laid down the groundwork for long-term security, plans that will protect our territory, shape our mindset, and our future. We reorganized our units to make them lighter, faster, and more strategically positioned to defend the nation's interests. We set up new units like the Combat Engineer Regiment, the Tank Battalion, and the CBRNE Company to ensure the protection of key strategic locations, fortify our bases, secure mobility corridors, and strengthen our firepower. We reactivated the Special Operations Command, so our elite operators remain mission-focused and operate in full synergy with other special operations units across the armed forces of the Philippines. As we transition to an external defense posture, we recognize that future conflicts would span across all domains, both seen and unseen. In response, we invested heavily in building up our operational capabilities. We pursued access to various air defense systems, enabling our ground forces to provide vital support to our courageous Air Force pilots guarding our skies. We acquired shore-based missile systems to effectively support the maritime operations of our brave sailors and Marines. These developments strengthen both joint force integration and maritime law enforcement, reaffirming the Army's commitment to stand with the Coast Guard, especially where land meets sea. We enhanced our intelligence capabilities and modernized our tools to expand our awareness, enabling us to monitor potential flashpoints with greater speed, clarity, and precision. As our systems evolved, so did the threats. That's why we made cybersecurity a priority, our first line of defense in a digital battle space that's now just as contested and just as critical as any physical front. We trained hard. Through Exercise Katihan, we proved our ability to move and sustain large forces. It was a bold step in advancing our land defense concept and supporting the AFP's vision for comprehensive archipelagic defense. To strengthen our soldiers' capabilities, we immersed them in a wide range of local and international trainings, building confidence, sharpening skills, and gaining knowledge alongside some of the best troops from our allied nations. As we build capabilities, we also build trust, evident in the growing number of Filipinos expressing their willingness to stand with the Philippine Army in defending the nation and safeguarding our sovereignty against foreign aggression. Our reserve force grew stronger with 36,000 ready reservists, over 1 million more standing by, and a growing number of private organizations applying to join the Philippine Army affiliated reserve units, prepared to respond in times of disaster and in defense of the homeland. We reinforced Filipino resilience by investing in our ability to dominate the information environment, exposing falsehoods and countering adversarial influence through strategic communication. We spoke the truth. Everyone now understands the realities of the West Philippine Sea because no one should be able to twist our story or weaken our stand. As we strengthen our readiness for external defense, our resolve in securing the homeland has never faltered. Through relentless operations and enduring commitment, we have broken the strongholds and diminished the relevance of communist terrorist groups.
At sa wakas, wala na ring nalalabing grupong gerilya sa bansa. Titiyakin ng pamahalaan na wala na mabubuong muli.
Side by side with our partner agencies, the Philippine Army remains committed to building a peaceful, secure, and united Philippines. Even as we pursue modernization and strengthen our presence on the regional and global stage, we acknowledge a simple truth. We cannot rival the great powers in sheer numbers, but readiness is our equalizer. And if conflict comes, we will not be caught unprepared. This is why the land defense concept became our foundation. Concrete, uncompromising plans to defend the nation's heart, shield our people, and uphold their sovereignty without question. The Army we built together is now stronger, smarter, and more prepared than ever. And as the mission moves forward, it will be carried out with sharper skill, deeper resolve, and unwavering faith.
As I mentioned during my Assumption speech 2 years ago, I committed to our Commander-in-Chief I will deliver a better Army after his fourth State of the Nation address. As I don off my military uniform, I take this moment to honor and recognize the 69 killed in action soldiers during my watch as the Commanding General of the Philippine Army. Let us pause for a few moments of silence and pray for their souls. Their sacrifice will not be in vain. My profound gratitude to all my senior officers. Most of them, I believe all of them are retired except for General Browner, whom I work with. Even junior officers and enlisted personnel, whom I work with, as I grew in the profession of arms. What I've achieved in my career, I attribute to all of them, the good and not so good, which made me a better person. To my field commanders, majority of which whom I've installed, thank you for carrying out my instructions of to use your rank, to use your privilege, to serve our soldier and our organization by creating an environment that makes a soldier and the unit better each day. Thank you for eliminating practices detriment to this new healthy environment that strengthens professionalism and equality in our service. To the senior NCOs, led by Chief Master Sergeant Haurine, thank you for maintaining and sustaining the standard of the Army. You now feel the true essence of NCO empowerment. Sustain it, make it more progressive. To our stakeholders, thank you for helping and building a better Army. To the Secretary of National Defense, to the Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, thank you for your guidance, support to my plans, and challenges in my leadership. These created a good foundation for the Philippine Army to be mission agnostic and ready to perform in all domains of the new warfare. And to our Commander-in-Chief, the President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., maraming salamat po sa inyong panalig at suporta sa aking liderato at sa hanay ng hukbong katiyan. Your vision was clear. Your support system was very strong. To build a modern and more united armed forces inspired us to push ourselves harder and serve better. We made sure to uplift the lives of our troops and strengthen the foundation as a professional, disciplined, and people-oriented army ng bagong Pilipinas. It has been an honor to serve under your administration, and I am always inspired by the song Panahon Na ng Pagbabago at the weekly panata sa bagong Pilipinas that we do every day. To my beloved family, to my wife, Rina, and my son, Renato and Ronin, thank you for being the quiet strength behind every step of the journey. Your love, patience, and prayers have been my anchor. My meaningful and noble service would not have been possible without your support, especially knowing your limits and knowing your position. Thank you for your sacrifice and patience. We will now start ticking the bucket list. In closing, I just had two aspirations in the service, and this developed when I finished my first commandership 15 years ago in North Cotabato, that I will retire healthy, and I will retire that my family will be proud of me. For they have sacrificed so much for me to serve our country and people. This is Lieutenant General Roy Galido, the 66th Commanding General, Philippine Army. Now, Mr. Roy Galido, taxpayer, law-abiding citizen, golfer, and a lover to my one and only wife, Rina. Mabuhay po ang sandatahang lakas ng Pilipinas. mabuhay ang hukbong katihan ng Pilipinas, that in all things, God may be glorified.
Thank you very much to the 66th Commanding General, Philippine Army, Lieutenant General Roy Mabagos Galido. At this point, the presiding officer will be introduced by Secretary Gilberto C. Chidoro, Jr., Department of National Defense.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines and Commander of our Armed Forces, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos, Jr.
Thank you for your introduction, the Defense Secretary, Secretary Gilbert Teodoro. Please take your seats. The members of the Cabinet here present today, the Armed Forces of the Philippines Chief of Staff, General Romeo Browner, and the Major Service Commanders, the Philippine National Police General, Nick Torre, Philippine Coast Guard Admiral Ronnie Hill Gavan, our outgoing Commanding General of the Philippine Army, Lieutenant General Roy Galido, the newly installed Commanding General of the Philippine Army, Lieutenant General Antonio Navarrete, our Medal of Valor awardees, Foreign Armed Forces attaches, officers and civilian employees of the Philippine Army, my fellow workers in government, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. We mark a moment of transition in the continuing story of the Philippine Army. Today, we honor the service and dedication of Lieutenant General Roy M. Galido. He steps down as the 66th Commanding General of the Philippine Army, capping a military career that has spanned more than 3 decades. He is a proud son of the PMA, Bigkislahi Lakas class of 1990, a former Army Inspector General, and a commander of the Western Mindanao Command. Beyond the titles and respect that he has earned over the years, Lieutenant General Galido has defined his leadership through dedication and discipline. Under his watch, the Philippine Army has made great strides on and off the battlefield. You have pursued peace through civil-military operations that led to the surrender of armed fighters. Sa gitna ng labanan, armas ang inyong tangan upang ipagtanggol ang ating bayan. Ngunit, batid kong mas malakas ang inyong pagnanais sa paghihinahong pag-uusap at pagkakasundo. No Filipino desires peace more than a soldier who has to lay down his life, his or her life, for his duty. Under Lieutenant General Galido, the institution grew stronger. Our uniformed men and women were given new tools, better equipment, enabling them to move faster, respond better, serve more effectively. You have strengthened our bonds with our allies to improve how we share intelligence, how we conduct joint operations. Our reserve force has also stepped up in times of disasters, bringing relief and hope to affected communities. You forged partnerships with other government agencies and sectors, expanding camps, developing bases, and turning Army lands into self-sustaining spaces. Lieutenant General Galido, mula sa puso ng sambayan ng Pilipino, maraming salamat. Sa panahong puno ng hamon sa ating seguridad, ipinagtanggol mo ang ating bansa at nagbigay ka ng inspirasyon sa aming lahat. So as we salute your command and welcome your successor, we remember that this ceremony, more than a change of command, is also a reaffirmation of the Philippines Army strength and endurance. Because while no leader serves forever, the values that you impart in your time, in your leadership, will continue to live on in this institution. The Army has been enriched by your service and will grow stronger under the leadership of its next commanding general. And I now welcome 67th Philippine Army Commanding General Lieutenant General Antonio G. Navarrete. You will be assuming your role at a time when geopolitical tensions and global uncertainty are high. This will demand your vigilance and leadership to deliver clear direction and to show a firm commitment. But I have full confidence that under your command, the Philippine Army will remain steadfast, a pillar of strength and integrity, professionalism. Kaya't sa araw na ito, bilang inyong Commander-in-Chief, pinapangako ko na papagpatuloy natin at patitibayin pa natin ang ating sandatahang lakas. We owe you nothing less than our full support. Naway magsilbi itong inspirasyon upang mas magampanan ng Philippine Army ang kanyang tungkulin. Ang magsilbi sa bayan ng may tibay ng loob, may panindigan at katapatan. Maraming salamat sa inyong walang sawang dedikasyon na magbantay sa ating inang bayan. Maraming salamat sa lahat ng ating mga sundalo. Maraming salamat sa lahat ng Armed Forces of the Philippines. Mabuhay ang hukbong katihan ng Pilipinas. Mabuhay ang bagong Pilipinas. Maraming salamat at magandang umaga sa inyo lahat.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. A memento will be presented to the President of the Republic of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., and may we request the new Commanding General of the Philippine Army, Lieutenant General Navarrete, sir, for the presentation of the memento. Thank you, sirs. Please remain standing. As we wind up today's event, we'll now have the singing of the Awit Kawal.
Buhay kawal ng ating bayan, giting ay tinataglay. Sa oras na ako'y tinailangan, nakahandang ihadlang ang buhay. Tapak namin ay napatunayan sa gubat at larangan. Mindanao at Visayas man, sa Bataan, Korea at Vietnam. Buong loob na lulus, kalalag ng matatag na republika. Ulot pawis ay di alintana, sa kasamay laking tiwala. Pag ng kawal ay lakas ng bansa, kaya palaging maghanda. Sa katunggali makikibaka, pagkat mahal namin ang bandila. Buong loob na luluso, kalasag ng matatag na republika. Ulot pawis ay di alintana, sa kasamay lang tiwala. Tatag ng kawal ay lakas ng bansa, kaya palaging maghanda. Sa katunggali makikibaka, pagkat mahal namin ang bandila.
May we now request the President to kindly grant us a photo opportunity downstage. Okay, we'd like to request everyone to move towards the center for the photo opportunity with the President. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you to His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., sir. Sa punto pong ito, nagtatapos ang ating seremonya sa pagpapalit ng